welcome back to my vegan kitchen. I've got a great recipe for you today. It's peanut butter, cinnamon, pumpkin rolls.
Ah!
And it's vegan!
Ah!
Alright, so let's begin. This is not that complicated, so don't worry. First we're going to start off with proofing our yeast. Now you need 2 tablespoons of yeast. That's probably overkill, but I like them really puffy. And I have a cup of warm water here. Be very careful with the water. You don't want it to be more than 110 degrees, I want to say. So shoot for 100. If you feel it and you say, ah, that's nice, it's the right temperature. If it's, you know, too hot, you'll know it. So you're just gonna pour your water in with the yeast. You're also going to want to put a little bit of sugar in there because we want to make sure the yeast is alive. So if you put the sugar in there, the sugar is going to feed the yeast. You're going to see it fermenting a lot sooner than you would if you didn't put the sugar in there. So just give it a stir. While this is proofing, look at that, you're using baking terminology already. You're like a pro already. We're going to measure out the other ingredients that we need for the roll part. 6 cups of flour. This makes a lot of rolls. So you could probably freeze some of these if you're just, or you know, just adjust the recipe. We're going to do this so professionally. We're going to...
You mean you're going to be accurate?
Yes.
Whoa.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, that's all the flour for now. Now we're going to need 1/3 of a cup of sugar. And you guys know I love my coconut sugar. It just gives so much more flavor and it's raw. And this one's organic. Goes to 11.
Unrefined, just like us.
Exactly. All right, I told you the wrong measurement, but it was the right measurement. It's 1/2 cup of sugar. Check it out, guys. You can see it's already happening. See how this is like puffing up? That's the air bubbles like farting out of the yeast. Because it's eating the sugar and it's saying, that was a great meal. This yeast is alive. All right, we've got 1/3 of a cup of vegan butter melted here. So we're putting in 2 cups of non-dairy milk. 2 1/2 cups. Make 1.
Girl, get it together.
And I'm putting it in with the butter because this is cold and this is really warm. So I want to lower the temperature of that, but I also want to raise the temperature of the milk because when we mix it in with the yeast likes to eat in a restaurant that is warm, not cold. If it's too cold, it's not going to react. So you need it to be warm. We have our 1 teaspoon of salt. And you guys know I love my Himalayan sea salt. I don't use anything but, unless it's another type of flavored Himalayan sea salt. So I have 1 teaspoon. Now we're ready to go over to the mixer. Alright, today we're using a dough hook because this is like a dough and it's going to not work the same way if you use the paddle. And obviously, if you don't have a mixer, you could totally just do this in a bowl on the table. It's so much more work to do it that way, and we're lazy. First, just stir up the ingredients. All right, now we're ready to add the wet ingredients. I'm just going to add them all at once. First, the farting yeast. Then the buttermilk. Totally vegan. And vegan. Make sure you lock it because it's going to be a rockin'.
Okay.
No. Alright, so we're going to start mixing this and keep mixing it until it forms a ball and starts coming up the hook a little bit. Alright guys, I could tell this is going to need a little bit more milk, and the way that I could tell that is this is pretty much the consistency that you're looking for, and there's still a lot of flour that needs to get incorporated. So we're just going to add maybe 2 tablespoons of milk at a time until you get a nice elastic dough that is not too sticky and not dry at all. That is pretty much the perfect consistency. It's not sticking to my fingers, and there's no more dry spots in the bowl. So just make sure this kneads for 2 to 3 minutes, and then we're going to let it rest for 2 hours. We're going to put a cover over the top of it and let it double in size. It's going to take about 2 hours. Alright guys, we're back. It's been over 2 hours, and this is what we're working with.
Woo!
Yeah, it's a hefty hideaway.
It is risen.
So now we're going to be making the filling that's going in between the
rolls.
Yeah. So we've got 20 Medjool dates that I've pitted. I covered them with water and I put them in the microwave for about 2 minutes. This really helps grind them up better, because sometimes these can get hard over time and you really don't want to kill the motor in your food processor or blender, so it's easier to do it this way. So these have been sitting for about 15 minutes. I'm just going to drain most of the water out. You don't have to get it all out. If you have that much left, it's not a big deal. I'm going to dump this into the, still a little bit hot, the food processor here. And there's only 2 other ingredients that go in this. That's 1 tablespoon of cinnamon. And the other ingredient is the pumpkin. So make sure you get pumpkin puree. I don't remember if this was a half a can or not, but it's about a cup. It's not a big deal. It doesn't have to be exact. So we got that beautiful pumpkin filling there, which is actually just pumpkin puree. Pumpkin filling is added sugar, so don't get that one, because if you get the added sugar and the dates, it's gonna be a lot. So we're just going to take this through the process of blending, scraping down the sides and blending until it is smooth like Snickers sauce. I'd buy that. So now we're going to come over to the dough. We're going to work with half at a time because that's a big baby. So we're going to make 2 batches. We're going to make 2 rolls. Wow, look at that. This wax paper just fits on my pastry board perfectly. Now that's a little sticky, the dough. So we're going to be flouring this. And we're going to take half of this.
Ooh, baby.
Again, doesn't have to be exact. Actually, it might be easier to get it all out of here first and then divide it in half.
Burn it up.
Girl, you got this. Look at how we're thinking ahead. We're going to take another sheet of this and put it over here. And we're going to put the twin baby from this over there.
Whoa.
Right? So it's all ready to roll out when this one's done. Alright. You go over here. This dough is really nice to work with too. You put a little flour on it and you are good to go. This is very easy to roll out. You just want to make sure you get enough flour on there so that it's not going to stick to anything. You know what? I'm absolutely hating this pastry board at the minute because this table's not even.
The table's wobbling and then the pastry board is wobbling.
Yeah, that's better. Alright. Now, you're going to want to roll this out between 1/4 and 1/2 inch thick. Not 1/2 inch, but more than 1/4. Not 1/2 inch. And the trick here is to get it as rectangle as possible, because you're going to be rolling this like a jelly roll, and you don't want like this only coming to here and this sticking out here, because when you go to roll it, you're going to be missing all of this. So it's important that this is in a rectangle. So like you want a straight edge on this side, like as straight as possible, and then you just work this way. Trust me, this is what you want. All right, we're ready to go. So we're going to be using half of this as well. Hey, that's about half. Again, doesn't have to be exact. You're just going to frost it. If I was not doing peanut butter flavor, at this point, after I got the frosting on here, I would put chopped nuts like pecans and stuff like that. I don't have any peanuts to put on, so I'm not putting them. It would be kind of weird to have a different nut on there other than peanut, since this is a peanut butter pumpkin. You're going to want to leave a little edge too, because you don't want the filling to go right to the edge of the roll. You do on this side, but not on the wide side. Dang, girl, that was quick. Alright, now we're ready to roll. Hopefully if you put enough flour on here, it wouldn't have stuck.
Moment of
Yay, I did. You can use the paper to help you roll it.
truth. Whoa.
Right? Uh-oh. You can even roll it a little bit back this way. You're going to want the seam side down. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter because we're not cooking it like this. We're going to be cutting it now. You just don't want anything sticking anywhere. We've got our already greased, this isn't a 9x13, it's more of a 5x8, 5x10, 6x10. I just got flour on the wall. Alright. We're going to be cutting these, what's that, like an inch?
I am so bad at that. I don't know.
And we'll be putting pretty side up. You don't want to put them too close. These are going to expand when you cook them. That's probably all I'm going to get in there, I guess. You know what I'm going to do first? I'm going to let these rest with a towel over them. 15, 20 minutes, maybe even half an hour. Alright guys, we baked these rolls at 375 for between 12 to 15 minutes.
Look at that. Ooh.
So now we're going to make the peanut butter glaze for the top. Very simple. Peanut butter, powdered sugar, almond milk. We're going to start off with a third, why don't you come over here? A third of a cup of peanut butter. I'm not going to measure it. I'm just going to eyeball it. You know how we do. That's probably sufficient. There's we're going for 1 cup of, where are the dregs here? 1 cup of, might as well just put it all in, powdered sugar. And then we're going to do a third of a cup of non-dairy milk. We're using almond. You can use any kind of non-dairy milk you want. Alright, here we go. I'm going to whip it up. And there we go. When we bring this for Thanksgiving tomorrow, we're going to put it in a squirt bottle. So let me get some of this in the squirt bottle and then we will ice some of those up. We're ready to go.
Ooh, baby.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to be too decadent, right?
Yeah, don't go like crazy.
Really? All right.
I can't wait to tear into this.
I can see.
Oh my gosh.
Do you need extra sauce?
No.
Okay.
Ready?
Ready.
Almost done.
Whoa. Oh my god. Oh my gosh, so good. I'm gonna cry.
Is it that good?
It's so good. Try it. Try. We need to open a bakery. So good.
The peanut and the pumpkin and the cinnamon. Whoa. It's like a deconstructed pumpkin pie.
Yep. I really hope you guys try this.
I really hope so too. It was pretty easy. Thumbs up. Or otherwise Sean will just continue. Subscribe for more chattering from Sean and more recipes. And until next time, much love.